Hey guys, Mike here. So hope everybody had a great day in the market. Again, new all-time highs once again. We're definitely going to get into Tesla. I think if you saw last night's video, you probably weren't very surprised of what happens. We'll get into what you need to be watching out for with that one. Talk about AMD. Again, got that explosive move like we talked about in yesterday's video. We're going to talk about UNH, what to watch out for. Meta's a big one here. Definitely want to watch this one for sure. And a few other stocks. But I got to tell you, I did this members video last night about the utility stocks and all these high flyers and stuff like that. And, make no doubt about it. We are back in 2020 and 2021, okay? The year of the SPACs. I mean, there's new SPACs, the SPAC vehicles they rolled out. Remember in 2020 and 2021, they came out $10 a pop and they would run up to $100, 120, no revenue, no nothing, whatever it was. And then, of course, all of them crashed and burned eventually. But I just heard the president say they were talking about sending out or thinking about sending out stimulus checks out of the tariff money. I was like, oh, can you just imagine? Are we going to get stimmy checks again? Like, where is that money going? Well, for a lot of people, it's going to go to paying their bills. But for people who are probably watching this video and me, it's going to go straight into the market, right? And so can you imagine? They're talking about sending out between $1,000 and $2,000. So it's like, oh boy, here we go again. Ramp it up, baby. Send that liquidity. Here we go. I mean, just amazing. But yeah, I mean, just make a mistake. Bubbles can go on for a long time. That's what you're seeing in a lot of different stocks. And the market just right now just doesn't care. It's completely disconnected from the economy. I mean, completely disconnected. All the job data we're supposed to get out tomorrow ain't going to happen most likely because, as far as I know, when I read, I mean, the government wasn't even in the office today. The Senate wasn't there to pass any bills to try to get it back open, so they'll try again tomorrow. Which the truth is, let them stay shut down, right? I mean, I got neighbors, they work for the government, they're at home getting paid, sit at home, whatever, chilling for a minute. But again, the market's doing just fine without them right now. So, everybody's like, y'all keep doing you keep doing you, we'll keep doing us, right? So anyway, I do want to start off with this, and please put your questions for Saturday's video in the comments. And I'm going to show you some data Saturday. It's like still mind-boggling. I mean, it just blows your mind when you look at what's happened over the last 5 years, okay? Absolutely mind-boggling data. But I did want to start off with this, and you can see just how dependent the market is on this whole AI stuff, man. If it don't work, ooh boy. And I mean, don't work by like generating revenue, okay? But you can see OpenAI now becomes the most valuable private company out there. It actually passed SpaceX by $100 billion. So it's just worth as much as Elon Musk now, okay? And then look at this. This is like AI Direct, AI Utilities, AI CapEx, and then S&P minus the AI contributions. You can see this is contribution to the S&P 500 since November 2022. And when you look at direct AI contributions, you're talking about 75% of the price return, 79% of earnings growth, the EBIT growth, 62%, CapEx plus R&D growth, 90%. And then when you look at without it, 23%, 20, 36, 8. I mean, completely dependent. And remember, everybody's spending. Eventually, though, the market's going to say, where's the revenue? Like, that's what you're going to have, okay? Everybody keeps touting contracts and future this, future that. But we got to start seeing it turn into money, revenues. Okay, that's the big thing. And you can imagine when you look at those numbers, it's very few companies contributing that. You know exactly who those companies are. Okay, now here's the other thing we talk about. What runs the market now? What's the new market? The options market. Total call volume over the last 20 sessions averaged 40 million contracts, by far the largest on record. You can see this goes back to 2012. I mean, good Lord, look at that spike. You can barely see it. But so let me zoom in here for you. See that big spike up? Yeah, and it's going to get bigger because retail options proportion of contract volume by month, this goes back from 2020 to 2024. Well, guess what's going to happen? And basically, you see it happen in October already. Guess what's going to happen in November? That's the biggest month for the volume. So you're going to see this going. You saw it on Tesla yesterday and today, which we'll get into. Here's Tesla. Big spike up. Now I'm on extended trading hours because they ran this thing up at 9 o'clock when we got the orders, okay? When we got their order data coming out, when we got their sales data coming out, and you can see they already started to drop it even before the market started to open. So as soon as the market opened, it was just a waterfall effect, and it just sold off the entire day. Now, they crushed it like we figured they would because, why? Everybody's rushing in, like Elon said, to get this before the EV tax credit goes away. Okay, and the EV tax credit probably don't mean much to people who are already in EVs, but they use that to try to convert people from the combustible engines like me to the EVs, okay? So now you don't have that incentive, that carrot to dangle in front of those people to convert. So that's what you need, okay? That's what you're competing with here. And so people already in EVs aren't going to leave, right? But again, should we have known? Of course. I mean, I could show you this last night. I mean, look at the amount of calls sold. I mean, my God, at 130. And then look at today. Oof, another 121 million sold, and then another 32 million in put premium, okay? So yeah, no surprise there. This is what runs Tesla. And obviously it ran down the entire day. We broke 439.75. That was kind of a support area right there. I do enjoy this meme right here though, because you got to laugh at stuff like this. And it says Tesla 450 yesterday, people smiling like crazy. Tesla 450 today. Not happy at all. But what is nuts is we came within $6.46 of the all-time high. I mean, it was right there. This is regular trading hours. That white line is what I marked for you guys where we popped up and extended trading hours. It was right there. I mean, holy moly. So, you know, when you look at this huge engulfing candle, this trend line sitting at 429, 430 right there. We'll see if that's going to hold tomorrow. And with Tesla, again, what are we watching? The options market. Because we know how Fridays are for Tesla, which I'll get into in just a second. If that breaks, 420.91. If that breaks, then we finally will get to see between 396, 402 to see if it fills that gap. May get worse than that, but let's just see what happens on those levels first. And when you count Tesla out on Fridays, you know, it's tough to do because it's only had like one red Friday I can think of going back to like middle of September, I believe. Because when we look at this, there's a green Friday. You go over here, that's a green Friday. Go over here, that's a huge Friday right there. Another gap up Friday right here. This is a red Friday. Okay, I do remember this one right here. Then you got another huge move up on Friday. So again, it loves Fridays, and so we'll see if these levels are going to hold. Again, if they do, then we can finally get some of this back. But that is a large engulfing candle, and that's only 8%, by the way. If it went down to 400, that's only 8%. That's nothing for Tesla. Absolutely nothing. But of course, what else we got to watch? Not just options. Watch NVDA. What NVDA do? Set another new all-time high. This is the way it works. If Tesla is going crazy, NVIDIA is not. If NVIDIA is going new all-time highs, Tesla is not, okay? And so we're going to see if this trend line right here holds. If not, 186, then 184. I say if it holds because we know everything is just running, right? You can throw money out a window right now. I think I joked the other day, and actually I joked with members saying I could buy a dog named AI for $100, and next thing I know it's pooping gold bars out there tomorrow. I mean, that's the kind of market we're in. I mean, seriously, that is it. And so that comes to an end eventually. Eventually, you do get pullbacks at some point in time, but you know, we'll see. Now, looking at AMD, we talked about this. I love it when you're sitting here just hitting the wall, you know, just kicking this door, because you're going to get the move. And of course, we talked about it last night, and bam, explosive move up. Ended up getting to that first target we talked. About. It did hold that area at 168.71, which is the 0.5 fib, by the way. Next level's up, you can see right there. But again, it was the calls, right? It started having calls surge in. It doesn't get a lot of calls like Tesla and NVIDIA, nothing like that. So this is a lot for AMD, okay? Because it's kind of been this huge laggard after having this big rise up. They rolled into MU and some others. And so your next level is 173, 174 area right there. Also fills the gap, mitigates the rest of that daily fair value gap. Up above that is 179.21. We'll just take it one level at a time. Again, let's see if this level is going to hold. It might want to come down a little bit, fill some of this gap to move up. But as long as that trend line and all that holds, you know, everything's good. Again, we'll see if they start rotating out of some of the other semiconductors that have just been going parabolic, or maybe some other stuff, and start pushing this up. Again, it's above the 50, so that's a good thing. So, you know, we'll see how this one goes. Been meaning to talk to you guys about SoFi. I don't know if you remember. I said, wow, I wonder if SoFi is fixing to pull a Roblox, where they'll break over this all-time high, which goes way back to like 2021, and that's exactly what it did. Dropped 17%. Remember Roblox? Very similar deal. It actually did this on earnings, but it rolled up and then it just sold down the exact same percent before it got bad news. You can see 16%. So exact same amount, and then that other gap down is bad news. And then from there, they've been running it back up. And so no surprise there. And when you look at the confluence where it's at right now, you can see it is at a bounce point, possibly, right? You're sitting there with your golden pocket, sitting there with a horizontal support area coming down into it. You do have the 0.79 fib at 25.07. Below that is 24.46. And so that was support as well. So somewhere in this area, you're looking for this thing to bounce. And again, if we go over here and pull up the moving average, you can see one. There's your 50 moving average right there as well. So you got one of the major moving averages. And so when we go back and look, you know, in the past, this thing ain't touched the 50 in a while, okay? You just zoom out, so as you can see right there. And so not since May was when it touched it, and boom, held it and went, right? And so we can kind of see in the past, it's respected it as resistance, it's respected it as support. And so we're going to see if that's going to hold up or not. And so decent amount of confluence there for the bounce. And it's already, you know, trying to hold up. But fintech in general, if you look at Upstart, PayPal, any of them, I mean, they've all been under attack right now. So, you know, no shock there. Again, there's a really good support right there, which used to be what? Resistance back in the day. So that's why that would even make an even better area. But somewhere in that area, again, that's only like 5% down if it does want to come down a little more. So we're going to see if this is going to hold up or not. You would think rate cuts would be good for it, but fintech should be getting absolutely nuked. And remember, they usually go together, whether it's going down, whether it's coming up. We'll see if the whole sector finally starts to get some love here. Now, when you look at Meta, this one has a lot of confluence where it's at. Okay, 0.79 fib bounce, gap fill completes. Then you have the 100 moving average is sitting on. And so plenty of confluence for a bounce here, which is what happened today. Actually, it started yesterday and then started to move up today. But again, if we get market weakness, maybe you get a 200 moving average retest, right? Between 668, 670, somewhere there. That could be the case. We're going to have to find out. Not to mention where it's bouncing now with, you know, not only gap fill, but you got a little support there as well. So, you know, we'll see if this one wants to continue to move up. It's been selling off since like mid-August, right? Or everything. Semiconductors have been going crazy. All this other stuff. You got Amazon selling down, Microsoft selling down. Meta started before that. And it's not even a big move down. We're up 10%, down 10% now from where you get the bounce. If it even got to 200, it's only like 17, 18% down. That's nothing, you know, and you have this huge imbalance, weekly imbalance. So again, if that's what's going to happen, we're going to find out. But it is in a very good bounce point right now. And so far, that's what you're seeing. And we'll see what happens if it continues up when we get to the 50. See if it gets rejected or not right there. Because when you break these big trend lines, like you saw on SoFi, like you're seeing on Meta, I've showed you so many others, that's when the sell-off happens, okay? Talking about breaking support. UNH here, just been consolidating like crazy. Loves these rounded bottoms, as I was telling members here. And if it can just close above, not just peak above it, close above it, then we finally are going to get the 378.18 test, which is the gap fill. And then you got around 400 is your 200 moving average. And with the way healthcare is moving, that should not be too shocking if it happens, all right? Now, looking at coin, we had talked about this one I think last week or something and kept waiting and waiting. And finally, it broke above that all-time high anchor VWAP. Now we got two gap ups into that gap finally, which seems to be taking like forever. And so if Bitcoin keeps running, just look for that 367.40, which is your 0.5 fib. And then from there, it'll do 377, which will fill the gap. But it needs Bitcoin to continue to pump, okay, which all crypto seems to be doing right now. Now, when it comes to data, we might have this. I don't think we're going to have it, though, because most of this is coming from the government. So you might get final services PMI. But as far as the jobs data, don't think that's going to happen. So the market's not going to be able to react to that at all. So anyway, please put your questions for Saturday's video in the comments. Let me know how you guys were doing today. Please hit the like, subscribe button. Think about sharing the video. Appreciate all you guys who watch. Think about signing up for the membership. Less than McDonald's combo at $7.99. Just hit the first link in the bottom of the description. Feel free to sign up for the whole year. I think it's like 85 bucks or something. So it's really cheap. And I keep it that way for a reason. So anyway, hope you guys have a great night. And I'll see you Saturday.